his mom was really upset. And from what he told me, his mom was really upset and was like threatening to disown him and everything like that.
What's good? It's your girl Chantel, and this is Car Chronicles, a car panel. I got my best friend Ebony and my sister, my baby sister DC. Okay, so we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about interracial relationship. What it's like to be in an interracial relationship. bwam style. So if you don't know bwam, black women and Asian men style.
And also AWBW style.
AWBW, that is Asian women and black women. And then also too, you know, BW and WW. BWW. Black women and white women. But anyways, interracial relationships. So we're gonna talk about our experiences and just some stories and tell you what it's like to be in an interracial relationship. So yeah, Ebony, she's actually in a interracial relationship right now. Her man is Filipino. I was married to an Asian woman, and yeah, what do you think? My sister, I actually hooked her up with somebody I know, an Asian man. So she was dating him for a little bit. So yeah, so what do you think? What do you think it's like to be in an interracial relationship? Like what's your pros, Ebony?
Pros?
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes to interracial relationships, I feel like me personally, I choose more Americanized men. So my experience might not be like other people's, but to me it seems just like any other relationship.
It definitely is. Like, people have to understand though, like a lot of people have this like, oh, I want to be in an interracial relationship, and oh, they're just so different. It's so different. Granted, there are differences though. There are many differences, especially if they are really really amongst their really traditional. But there's just a big difference of dating a black person, because I feel like black people, we struggle. We're one of the highly struggle race in America, I feel like, you know. So I feel like just in regards to just anything, like when it comes down to our race, there's a lot of negative stereotypes. There's a lot of oppression.
That maybe they won't understand.
Yeah, they won't understand. So just dating a black woman, you have to be like woke. You have to be, I feel like for not everybody, because not every black person is woke, okay? Let's get there. But for me, if you're gonna date me, you're gonna be whatever. But from my experience, I was married to an Asian woman, and for the most part she was Americanized for the most part, but her family was fresh off the boat. I'm sorry. they was fresh off the boat, Filipino, and don't do me like that. There's a show called Fresh Off the Boat, so you know, but she was fresh off the boat, Filipino. She was born there. So their culture, but the thing is with me, I experienced a lot of Filipino culture because our mom, she had a Filipino friend growing up, so we were able to go to the barbecues, because that's what they do. Filipinos, they have these barbecues, and like they have it for every occasion. So I already just, you know, knew about that.
Exposed to their culture.
Definitely. So when I met her family, it was just like, okay, but you know, luckily she did date black women, so they weren't like off guard. But honestly, I actually think I was the first black woman. I was the first black woman that they met while like dating, and then also just being her wife at the time. It was just like,
so they never met any of her girlfriends in the past?
No, none of her black girlfriends, no. So it was definitely, you could tell. Now here's the thing, some people, some cultures, they won't really say nothing to your face, but you could tell that they weren't exactly. That's Filipinos. That is. I'm sorry, but like you could tell that they are kind of like, Okay,
Uncomfortable?
yeah, uncomfortable, but you know, here's the thing, like I said, we grew up around the culture, so the food, so I was able to experience their food. But the thing is, that's a positive thing, and then a negative thing for me, because I like traditional breakfast in the morning. You know, Filipinos, they actually they eat their eggs with rice in the morning.
That shit slaps.
Not for me. So it's like, it was really hard, because like we'll visit the family, they'll make this breakfast with, I think it's called longanisas, longanisas, and it's like a sausage, whatever, and then like eggs and rice, and they'll offer it, and I'm just like, no.
Wait. Was it regular rice or was it garlic rice?
It was regular rice.
See, that's the problem.
But I was just like, I don't know. I like my bacon. I like my eggs. I like my grits. But don't get me wrong. My ex-wife, she knew how to make grits, like almost better than me. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why, because she was in the military, so she was able to be exposed to grits. So she made me my grits, and she made me my eggs and my biscuits. So you know, that was the good thing. We was able to infuse our culture. I think that's what about like interracial, like you can infuse the different cultures. But for me, like, another negative for me why I wouldn't dating her, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it straight up, a lot of people are prejudiced, and there's a difference between racism and prejudice. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Like, can I speak? There's a big difference, and being prejudiced, I feel like, has to do with society stereotypes. So unfortunately, I feel like that she was that way. And the reason why I say that is we'll have like arguments, and she had anger issues, and I'm the type of person that if you give me a certain energy, I'm gonna give you the same energy back. Okay?
Keep that same
yes, keep the yes, keep the same energy. So she'll get into her anger issues in public, so I gave it back to her, and what she used to say to me is like, you're acting black. Stop acting black. I'm sorry, like, that just was like, what? Excuse me? And like, just dealing with that, and you don't like, I'm sorry, like, what? You know, like, but I get what she's saying, because a lot of people, they associate loud and, you know, whatever with being black. They associate ghetto with being black. And unfortunately, I got that a lot from her, and it just made me feel really uncomfortable. So,
okay. So was it a her thing, or was it Asian thing? Was it a non-black thing? Or
I feel like it's a non-black thing.
Like, have you experienced that with?
I feel like I haven't experienced that in particular, her saying that, like someone else saying that same thing. But like, okay, so I've dated not just her, but also soon after our divorce, not soon after, like a year after our divorce, I was in a relationship with a white woman. Everything was good, down for the cause, all that stuff was supposedly down for the cause. And then when we got into arguments, when we broke up, we got into arguments, it was in this, in that, in word this, in word that. Exactly.
How would you feel like?
It was, and it's just like, you just have to, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait. And I just didn't like that. And it was like, there was just things that person, like, when they want to get in that argument, when they want to throw in, I felt like my nationality. And I'm not saying like everybody's like that, but just having to deal with that, I just didn't like that. Mm-hmm. So for you, I feel like her fiance is pretty like Americanized, but she's been in other relationships that was like, you know, what is your experience like?
Well, I definitely have not had anyone call me the N-word, and I definitely have not had any of my boyfriends tell me I was acting black. And I'm not the nicest person when I'm angry. But I feel like with them both, I think it's weird because both of your ex-girlfriends and your ex-wife, they dated black people before. So it's not like this was something new. It's not like, you know, I would expect something like that from someone who hasn't dated a black person before. Someone who's just ignorant and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I've never experienced that. Like, as far as my ex-boyfriends, and I argue with my boyfriend sometimes. Like, we've been together 7 years. Of course, I've argued with him before. And I've argued with my ex, and it's never been about my race. It's been, you know, not even, they never call me names. Like, I'm
what do you think about, like, family wise? Did their family, like, accept you or anything like that?
Here's the thing. So his dad, he told me, like, oh yeah, my dad is racist. However,
wait, not your person that you're with now.
No, the one I'm with now.
Oh,
he did. Yeah, he was like, oh, my dad is racist. Like, he will always, like, talk about people of other races. So
was it one particular race or just like
everybody? He was racist. Okay. He ain't like nobody but Filipinos. Even Filipinos sometimes. He just, you know, people get angry on that whatever person, blah blah. It's because it's immediately because of their race. So when he brought up the idea of me, I don't know if it was because his dad was maybe a little scared of him or whatever the case may be, but he was just like, oh, she's pretty, are you happy? And he said yes, and that was it. It was never like, and the thing is, I didn't get to meet him because he moved to the Philippines and he actually died in the Philippines. So I never got to experience like any racism.
Maybe he just didn't have the energy to be me because he was old.
He was about to go soon. And as far as his mom is always calling me pretty, and like, it could totally be fake. Like, we don't know.
We don't know.
But to my face, as far as like his brothers and sisters and his mom, I'm beautiful, smart. Oh, how are you? Blah blah blah. It's nice to my face. We don't know what goes on behind the closed doors.
Yeah, they really.
What about your ex family?
My ex's family. Okay.
Oh God.
My ex was Chinese, and from what he told me, he had a pretty traditional family. So I never actually got to meet his family, but when we were dating, you know, you're young. He changed his profile picture to me and him, and I changed my profile picture to me and him because we were being corny, whatever. So his sister wasn't on his Facebook, but his sister, I guess, searched for his profile and found like his profile with me and him, and his mom was really upset. And from what he told me, his mom was really upset and was like threatening to disown him and everything like that because I was black. Now, from what my understanding is, Chinese first, then any other type of Asian, then white, then Hispanic, maybe be gay, and
that's what I said, like being black in America, like, and that's the thing, like the fact that a lot of cultures, unfortunately they do face that, where like,
it's like we're the last,
you know what I'm saying, we're the last choice, like we would disown you, like in a lot of Asian cultures I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah,
like
unfortunately,
you know, like, oh, you're dating a black person, like typically they want to date that within their own Asian community, like, okay, you know, and then after that, like you said, after Asian, then okay, white, okay, we'll tolerate this, and like you said, then gay. And then maybe black, you know.
It's also like a colorism thing. Like, I think it would have been better if I look kind of light and just light, because I'm not light skinned at all. I'm a brown girl. We have some very harsh lighting right now, but I'm a brown girl, and I feel like it would have been, no, I don't feel, he told me it would have been better if I was light skinned. He was honest with me about it. That's one thing I did appreciate. He was honest with me. He didn't care what his parents think. As far as I know, I mean, I don't speak to him anymore, but as far as I know, he was still dating black women after me, so.
You know,
but in my head, once he said that, like, oh, my parents are threatening to disown me, in my head it was over. Because that's not something I would be willing to deal with.
Exactly, because then you have to worry about kids, and if you're going to marry them, and like, so.
I'm not going to ask, like, does that matter? Like, as long as he loves you and you love him and everything is good between you guys, is a relationship with their family important?
I feel like that's something that I want in a marriage. I want an importance of family. And if I can't, because we have a big family, we come together, you know what I'm saying, if I can't experience that with that person, now I'm not saying that, God forbid, like things happen where family pass away, but like if your family's living and I have kids, I want them to be like, this is your grandparents, this is your family, this is the traditions. And for me, I don't,
it's one thing to be like, okay, I don't give a fuck what my family thinks. You're my wife. I'm bringing you to the function. It's another thing to be like, oh, I don't care what my family thinks. I'm gonna hide you. I remember I was in bwam and some girl literally hid inside of the fucking room because her boyfriend's family came over. And so she hid in her room for fucking hours. It got dark. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I would not be. I'm not no one's secret. So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna actually do this, and you're gonna stand up against your family for me. I'm not gonna be okay. Oh yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna date you in secret. Fuck that shit. I deserve better than that. So it's not that he was trying to be secretive. I felt like in my head we were young. He was, you know, they were supporting him through college and everything like that. So in my head, it was like, I'm not gonna deal with this. I just don't want to deal with this. So I slowly started like kind of backing away from that relationship after that. And he definitely could tell.
Yeah, I mean that's like you said, that is something that's deep. Like, so for you, the guy that I hooked you up with, what was your experience like with him? Like, did you see the culture or anything like that?
Not really. He was extremely Americanized. Extremely Americanized. But the funny thing is that he was Chinese. And he really loved, I want to say, like, the black culture, because I don't know why, but I felt like I had to straighten my hair. Like, I couldn't wear my hair natural. I don't know, it just, don't judge me, but it just made me feel more comfortable. And you know what he told me? He was like, I don't like your hair straight. I want it natural and curly. I want you to wear your hair in an afro. So that made me feel really good. Like, okay, so he's accepting me for who I am. And
you don't have to fit into the Asian beauty standard or Eurocentric beauty standard.
Exactly.
And honestly, I think that a big part of it has to do with the fact that he's Americanized, in my opinion. But like I said, there are people, because we have tons of friends who are in interracial relationships with Asian men and like white men and vice versa, and it works for them. It really do. But I look at some of them, I do see that some of them are kind of like Americanized.
I do see a lot of like people who kind of compromise. Like, not compromise. Okay, I don't want to say compromise because you're supposed to compromise. I see a lot of people who like give up their culture, their black culture, and like completely absorb this other person's culture without celebrating their own. Because don't get me wrong, I feel like you're supposed to celebrate your partner's culture, but at what point is it like you're forgetting about your own? And I think a lot of people don't have that balance in their relationship, and it's really hard to find that balance, especially if you're not with someone who's Americanized and you're not with someone who's, you know, doesn't fit into American standards. Like, you're with someone who wants to be traditional and you want to be traditional as well. It's very hard to find that balance. So
and that's the one thing that I could like respect about my ex-wife, in the sense of like, because she's, like I said, her family fresh off the boat, and you know, we're a black family, and we were able to infuse the cultures. We was able, like, during holidays, like I would go over there, we went over there for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and you just see,
know, Filipinos is big on Christmas.
Exactly. And then a black family is big on, like, especially a religious black, because we are religious, black religious is like really big Christmas.
From a black religious.
Yeah. But you know, like, so it's exciting, it's fun too in that sense, but you know, every experience is different. You know, for me, would I ever date another person that's outside of my race? I can't say never, but I truly believe that who I'm gonna marry is gonna be a black woman. It's gonna be a black woman. I don't want to feel that again. I don't want to feel that sense of like, are you really down for the cause? Like, are you really down for me, or are you prejudiced? It's like secretly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you
secretly look down on me?
Exactly. And I just don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling, because unfortunately society has that notion, like those bad stereotypes when it comes down to black people.
I feel like it's unfortunate how, like, for black women, like, you have to be fucking Beyonce, and this dude could be, I don't know, he could be just any old guy on the fucking street, And especially with Blasian relationships, like the girl has to be educated, has to be beautiful, like, and the guy feels like he could just be a plain old Joe, where women of your own race would barely fucking want you, but your parents, your family thinks you're a fucking prize compared to me. Because I've noticed that a lot in groups. Like, this bitch is a 10 and you're like a 2 on a good day. Like
a 2 on a good day.
And they think they're better. How? Where? In whose world?
So you're in it. You're still in an interracial relationship. So God forbid, if something doesn't happen, do you see yourself like not being, or would you like, hey, I'm open, it doesn't matter?
It's hard for me to picture not being in a relationship. Would I date someone like who is not black? I think it would be really hard for me to date someone. It's
to date
someone who's not black. Like,
oh, okay.
Like when I first got with him, like he had to work to get me. So it's like they would have to work. Like they would have to, you know. I've dated guys and I cut them off when I feel a little bit of a sprinkle of prejudice. Like, what did you say? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The situation I'm talking about.
That's another story.
Don't get comfortable. Like,
that's another story.
Yeah, I've definitely cut people off for little things that I felt, you know, if you're not down, we can't do it.
What about you? Are you open? Like, you know, are you open?
I'm open.
You open?
Because
I want to hear more about your relationship.
With who? with the Asian guy?
Yeah, why didn't it work out?
Okay, well, unfortunately, the difference between you guys and me is that I have children with someone else, and I was in college and I was working, and he didn't have any children, and he was like a very spontaneous person, so he always wanted to travel, and he would invite me, but I couldn't go because I'm like, okay, I'm in college. This is my last semester. I'm in college. I just can't up and leave. I have children. It's gonna be hard for me to find somebody to watch them for like a week or so.
I feel like he also too was self-centered. I'm sorry. We all know him.
Everything was about him. Like
that's one of the first things. Like when I met him, I noticed about him. Like, why are you like this? Like, he's very self-centered. Like, he was very into how he looked.
Yes, very.
And like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with
being like, you know how you look,
but yeah, that's how it didn't work out. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, I felt like because he was self-centered, he wasn't being considerate and understanding of my situation, and I just had to let him go.
I think overall he's a nice guy.
Yeah, overall he
treated me so amazing. Like, every time we went on a date, he always paid for me. He was such a gentleman. Like, I felt safe with him. And he was so affectionate. Like, it was like a little bit too much affection, like too much is it PTA?
PTA.
PTA. See, listen, mom life. I'm too many parent teacher.
Hashtag mom life.
Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, that. Yeah, it was a little bit too much. I was actually a little bit uncomfortable and embarrassed. But he was such a sweetheart.
Why were you uncomfortable because he was Asian? Or
no, because I wasn't used to that.
Oh, okay.
And no, he was a really nice person.
Okay, so it wasn't the fact that he was Asian.
Like for the most part, it was amazing. And
you would do it.
I would do it again. I'm open to anyone who will treat me nicely.
And I think that's what people need to stop and think. Like, instead of just so focusing on the race of the things, just think about the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Think about the person. But like for me, like I said, I don't want to.
But think about the person.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just feel like there is, like, being a black person, there's just a lot of things that we have to deal with in society. And I just want my wife to already, you know, oh, you already know what that look meant. You already know that person.
Like, you people
exactly.
following us too?
You people following. You peep them not actually, you know, waiting on us good. Like, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Okay, I need to know that from my partner. I need to know that I'm not feeling crazy right now when I'm not getting treated right. You know, so it's just, yeah. Like, so for me, I don't know. Anyways, let me know in the comments, you know, say what are your experience with, you know, interracial relationship? What is your experience down in the comments? Tell me some of your stories. Like, let me know some of your stories. Did you have like, oh no, like, or how would you have reacted? Like if someone said, you know, the N-word on you in a heat of an argument because I was just like, you know what? I don't want to go to jail.
Racial terminology.
A racial slur. Yes, definitely. Or using a racial slur, because it could happen vice versa. Like black people could say, you know, things to, but yeah. So thank you for tuning in, and yes, we'll see y'all. I'll see y'all, but thank y'all for bye.